In this video, I'll show you how to take the play out of a SRAM crankset using the bearing adjuster. So this is a little adjuster that comes on the crankset, and on the adjuster is a plus sign. So the way that this adjuster works is as you spin it in the direction of the arrow, which is pretty much counterclockwise the way I look at it, there's some threads that kind of push out. So it creates more space. And I'll turn this all the way out so you can see how this works. So these are the threads. So again, as you spin this in the direction of the arrow, which with a plus sign on it, it will push these threads out. So again, you're creating more space and taking out that play. So let's see how it works on a crankset. There's two things you want to do before you try to take out play of your crankset. The first thing is to make sure this bolt is tight. Now on a SRAM crankset, it's usually around 54 Newton meters, and you should see it written on the side. So that says 54 Newton meters. The next thing that you want to do after you tighten this bolt is tap the drive side with a soft mallet. I go the extra mile, put a little grip pad on top just to protect the crankset. So you want to tap it. What that does is it pushes the crankset all the way over to take out any play on the drive side, and then we'll use that preload adjuster on the non-drive side to take out the remaining play. Before you can turn the adjuster, there is a little 2mm Allen screw that needs to be loosened. And so I would say just turn that maybe 2 turns. That will loosen up the adjuster, and then you're going to spin it. So right now, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but there is some play in this crankset, and you can really feel it, especially if you haven't been on the bike and you jump on it and start pedaling. You can feel the crankset's kind of moving back and forth. So that you can see that crank arm moving back and forth. And so what I'll do is I'll just spin this. One thing that I want to show here with the cranks removed is there's a little hole where you can put the 2mm Allen wrench to spin this. So sometimes it'll be difficult to spin with just your fingers, but if you put the Allen wrench through that hole, it's a lot easier to spin. Now I'm going to spin it until there's no more play in the crankset. Okay, that's pretty good. And then once you're done, you're just going to tighten this 2mm Allen screw. And this screw threads into some plastic on this adjuster, so you do not want to crank this down very tight. I usually do probably about 1 to maybe 2 Newton meters, so not very tight at all because it doesn't need that much pressure. Now one thing that I do want to mention is that it's important to have the correct spacers on your crankset. Now chances are, if you're watching this video, it's on an existing bike that you already have, that you're just trying to take the play out of the crankset. But if you're buying a new crankset, a new SRAM crankset in particular, there will be a little instruction guide that will tell you which spacers and how many to put on each side, depending on how wide your bottom bracket shell is. So I just want to throw that out there. If you don't have the right size spacers, that little adjuster won't work. It won't get wide enough. So again, it's important to have the right number of spacers. So that will wrap it up for this video. Thanks for watching.